The basketball gods continue to curse the Dallas Mavericks in one of the most unprecedented stories surfacing around the NBA. It was recently reported that the Dallas Mavericks would potentially have to forfeit games due to them not having enough players to fill out a roster. If you go down the rabbit hole, the Dallas Mavericks injuries is longer than your mother's grocery list. Jalen Hardy is out. Anthony Davis is out. Kai Jones is out. Dante Exum was the latest guy to be reported out. Oliver Prosper is out. Daniel Gafford is out. Derek Lively, and obviously the biggest one being Kyrie Irving with a torn ACL out for the season. Now, obviously going into this season, the Dallas Mavericks were considered one of the favorites to go to the NBA Finals when you had Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. The world shook when Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, which was a blockbuster trade. Nobody saw it coming. But after this trade, it has been clear that somebody has been very upset with the decision-making with the Dallas Mavericks and has cursed the team. I mean, to lose, there was at one point where they were warming up with 7 guys. In a press conference, Coach Jason Kidd had mentioned, I looked at my bench at one point and had nobody to sub in. This is embarrassing. This is probably going to get Nico Harrison fired. I know PJ Washington talked about he's tired of the fire Nico chants. The trade happened. It's over. But when a season that looked promising ends up this way, and especially after a trade so unprecedented that it seems like the snow has turned into this avalanche for the Dallas Mavericks, the fan base is disgruntled. I mean, the players don't have enough to even go out there to field a team, it seems like. And so when you're going to be fielding a team of just 2-way players and whoever is remaining on the roster, this is pretty much Klay Thompson and friends for the Dallas Mavericks. This is a disaster. And for a team that initially stated that this move to trade for Anthony Davis was a win-now decision, it clearly isn't a win-now decision anymore. You're not going to have Kyrie Irving next year. You're probably out of the Kevin Durant sweepstakes just due to you not having a capable roster. We love Klay Thompson, but he's not enough on his own at this stage in his career to lift this team up. And when you lose Anthony Davis, who's probably going to consider just shutting it down for the season, the Dallas Mavericks are right now one of the biggest laughingstocks in the NBA, and it's due to a decision made by a front office member. But Noel, what do you think about all of this stuff that's going on in Dallas? And I mean, do you think this was deserved by the organization?
As a basketball fan, I hate it. I want to see every superstar healthy and available, especially in the Western Conference. Even though we, go hard for the Lakers here on TBL, I mean, basically like a mini Lakers podcast at this point with the run that these guys could go on. But, I wanted to see Anthony Davis healthy. I wanted to potentially see a playoff matchup between Mavericks and Los Angeles, see both guys get to duel it out and really show the Lakers got the younger superstar, but can Anthony Davis actually propel this Mavericks team into title contention? And if the fan base is so mad about losing Luka, maybe they were going to be able to contend for a title this season. But ever since Anthony Davis got hurt in that first game, it just felt like stuff was going to continue to go downhill. And now to the point where the Mavericks can't even have a full roster of guys to play. It's horrible. It's horrible because they have a great team. They have a team that I think AD was going to slot in with Kyrie and Klay Thompson to compete with the Nuggets, the Lakers, everybody at the top of the Western Conference. So just horrible to see. And I hope that they're able to kind of find a silver lining, sign some guys, develop some of the younger guys coming up from the G League, and AD and Kyrie just come in full-fledged. I know Kyrie might end up taking all of 2026 to recover.
Right.
But, he's gone through some injuries himself, and he's still come back better. So I have all the faith in him.
Yeah, I mean, Kyrie's style of play, I don't think it demands too much wear and tear on his knees. So I definitely see him coming back, being relatively the same guy. I really feel like with this whole situation that I guess bothers me a little bit is like, as basketball fans, this team is set back for at least the next 5 years. When you lose Kyrie Irving, and the thing about Kyrie Irving's injury is all that happened on the back end of the season. So that automatically tells you he's not going to be around from All-Star break. It's going to be past All-Star break. If the Mavericks aren't in a playoff spot come March 4th or 5th of next season, why would you play him? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be out of the playoffs playing team on the fringe, it's not going to make sense to risk this asset when you don't have the have championship aspirations. And I love Anthony Davis, cornerstone player here in Los Angeles, but I don't think by himself he can win a championship. I do not think the tandem of Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson is enough to win it all. They're going to be asking next year for players like Max Christie and PJ Washington to damn near play at an all-star level. And I'm not saying Max Christie can't take that leap, but he's still such a very young player. And I think PJ Washington is a above average starter in the NBA. I don't know if he's an all-star yet. And that's something that we're going to have to see in the future. Now, outside of those factors, this was a team, Noah, that really could have been a hotbed going into next year for free agents.
Yeah.
The reality is with Kevin Durant going into next season, I think everybody was linking him to the Mavericks. Him, Kyrie, Anthony Davis. I think anybody who sees that on paper, Noah, that's a championship contender.
Yeah,
it is.
Even with their age, with having years of experience under them, I think anybody going into free agency, seeing Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving on the same team with cap space, that was always going to be an attractive free agency destination. I don't disagree with you on that at all. But yeah, just this season alone, I was really excited to see how Anthony Davis, not necessarily being the first option for the Mavericks in playoff series, but just seeing his ability to swing a playoff series on both ends of the floor, slotting in with Kyrie, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Derek Lively, that entire squad. It's like you go from such a promising team to now you don't really know the direction you're going to go in.
Yeah, it's sad. And that's why I say it feels like the NBA gods have cursed this franchise because I'm going to be honest, man, this is going to sound crazy, but this trade was unethical. You know what I'm saying? It was an unethical trade. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all. And you can see, somebody was upset about it, and the Dallas Mavericks are paying the price right now. And so it does seem like right now they traded their franchise cornerstone, and it feels like for nothing.
Yeah.